Mental health is a huge spectrum which is quite complicated. A mental health disorder occurs with a cluster of symptoms and have subtleties that only trained mental health experts can identify and diagnose. Therefore, self-diagnosis of a mental health disorder can be quite dangerous.
What is self-diagnosis? It is attempting to identify that you have a mental health disorder without seeking the opinion of a professional. This typically means searching the internet or other sources of a diagnosis when you have related symptoms and drawing the conclusion that you have a mental illness. However, this is not simply wanting to learn about the issue you're facing, searching online or getting the opinion of your friends or family, which is quite okay. It is going that extra step and deciding that you actually have a mental health disorder without the consultancy of an expert. This could be extremely dangerous, and here is why.
What we may not understand is that symptoms of mental health disorder could also be due to a variety of other reasons. It could overlap with something as simple as a mood swing or something serious as a brain tumor. So coming into conclusions, if you are not qualified to do so, can lead to many confusions and unwanted problems. It might delay you from seeking professional help, resulting in not getting the right treatment at the right time. A wrong diagnosis may lead you to taking wrong medication, which may result in serious side effects. You may think there is more wrong with you than there actually is, and even blame yourself for it. This will bring you to a much worse mental state than you are in, and you will never have a correct idea on where you stand.
So, always remember that symptoms of mental health disorder must be followed by seeking professional advice and not self-diagnosis. Having said that, completely ignoring your symptoms is not the alternative. You may think it's just stress, but be suffering from an anxiety disorder. You may think you're just sad and be suffering through an episode of depression. Therefore, it's quite important that you pay attention to yourself, and if anything is bothering you, do reach out, do speak out, and do find out.
People suffering from mental illness may try to hide it or may not know that they are suffering from such a thing. It can be your closest friend, family member, or even a colleague that you don't associate too much. You sometimes might even notice slight changes in your loved ones and not think much about it, but it can be something major. The changes might be subtle, and some may even be in denial and put on a happy face, thinking it's a phase or just a random mood swing. Some indications that you might want to look out for.
A formerly social person may repeatedly turn down invitations to go out or prefer to be left alone when he would always be with everyone. A close friend who enjoyed listening to music may prefer silence and not be disturbed. A friend that you constantly talk to may not respond as frequently or might be ignoring you for unknown reasons. A more laid-back and chilled person may become irritable and easily frustrated. Someone who is usually punctual may miss deadlines and be less efficient. There might be apparent weight changes. A person might have difficulty sleeping, especially people who used to sleep a lot.
Having these indications for one day or few days might be normal, but if you notice this repeatedly in someone that you know, here are a few things that you can do to help a person. You can tell a person that you notice these changes and ask them if there is a problem. Let them know that you will be there to provide with any continuous support. Advise them to seek professional help. Ask for open-ended questions so that they don't feel interrogated.
We have to overcome this stigma. It's not something that only one person suffers, this idea that somehow you are weak because you cannot be happy in the way society demands.
The stigma attached to depression and mental health is strongly affecting the way we decide to deal with it. Feeling depressed doesn't make you any different to anyone else. Everyone has a downside, and it's okay. Of course, it's always going to be easier to talk to someone about your sprained ankle than the fact that you feel depressed. Because of worry and anxiety, it takes time to be able to speak out. But failing to do anything about it because you don't think it's normal will always allow you to progress into deeper and worse state depression. The person you may label as successful might have days where they can't be bothered to get out of bed, or days where worry, fear, or anxiety is simply all they can think about.
Depression is a common mental disorder. There is a lot more suffering than you think. Globally, more than 264 million people of all ages suffer from depression. Anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the US, affecting 40 million adults in the United States, age 18 and older, or 18.1% of the population every year.
Major depressive disorder affects more than 16.1 million American adults, or about 6.7% of the US population aged 18 and older in a given year. The main problem with mental health stigmatization is that often you will be judged based upon your life as it stands. You might have a good upbringing or went to a good school. You might have a huge circle of friends and a wonderful family, but you should never think that you have no reason to feel this way. People with mental illnesses shouldn't be judged based on how good they have it in their life. It's something we have to live with, just like us getting used to the new normal. It's also something very normal, and it has nothing to do with what you have or not.
You're not okay? I'm not okay. But it's okay.